This is the Crookedrivercast. And who are we? We're Rob and Tom, two guys just trying to keep track of what's going on in the great state of Ohio. This is show 59 for the week of May 4th. Another week, a special week. It's coming up. And one has gone by. Let's do it. In the morning,
Rob.
In the morning. A May the 4th be with you, Tom.
May the 4th be with you.
Special week.
It is?
Yeah.
What's that?
Monday's May 4th.
Oh, okay.
It's May 4th day. That's where all the Star Wars geeks tell everybody May the 4th be with you, including myself.
Okay. I will not partake.
Okay. We almost had an issue with the show. We almost had a podcaster down, Tom.
What?
Yeah, we almost had a podcaster down. I'm in bad shape today. Well, better than I was, but something to my back.
You're old. I
think on Sunday. Well, yes, but that is I don't know if that's relevant in this case because this started when I was like 32. Oh. But yeah, I get back spasms because I'm a spaz in most cases, so my back would naturally have spasms. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I might be a little cranky because I'm in pain, and I'm fine until you sit in a chair. It's like what I'm about to do for like.
You got to lay down.
Hours. Well, it's sitting in any one spot for any long time. Everything kind of stiffens up. So pain is way less than it was Monday when I couldn't straighten my back. But
did you just get out of bed funny, or?
I think I overdid something over the weekend, and then Monday morning it was a combination of that, and I slept weird. I don't remember anything happening. Like I don't remember going, "Ooh, that hurts," but
yeah. Well, a lot of times that's not how it happens.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes. I remember the first time it happened 20 years ago, or more. And the first time I did it, putting on my pants. That's all it took. Was putting on my pants. I knew a guy worked for me as a driver at one of the places I worked at. He threw his back out by farting.
It's been a while since I've done it.
He had to call off work and tell me that. Rob, sorry. I try not to do anything because of my back, but all he did was fart. Damn it. Man, can you hear that, Tom?
What's that?
Man, listen to that fiber.
Oh, okay.
I sound extra smooth and sultry today because we're on fiber. Fiber guy came out.
The dulcet tones of Robert.
Yes, which has nothing to do with my internet connection. But I am on fiber. So hopefully it adds a little something to the show, but probably won't.
Probably not.
Yeah, quick anecdote. So I went out to check the guy putting in the fiber line, and I was like, that's weird. Why? I look into my outside, and he's on a ladder on the side of my house. I said, that's weird. Why is he on the top of my house? Like, why is he going to the gutter or whatever level of my house? Well, it's because he's hanging the fiber line. And I was like, well, that's weird. I don't have one electrical cable or phone line that's in the air to my house. Everything's buried.
Right.
Well, this douche, whatever, wanted to hang them. I went outside. I was like, is that how you have to do it? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost stopped and I'm like, no. I said, but wait, is that the only way you have to do it? He's like, yeah, it's already up. You can't see it. And that's when I snapped. I didn't snap. That's what triggered me. And I was like, oh, you're telling me I can't see it. So the line I see in the air is the one I can't see? What kind of salesperson are you? Needless to say, they buried the line. Are you serious? You're literally gonna sit here and tell me, don't worry, you can't see it.
Where do they got to go in? From behind the house?
Behind the house, yeah. All of our lines are in the back, and then everything's buried. Cable, phone. Not that I use a phone, but there is a phone line buried somewhere. And then electrical and everything's buried. And here he goes, hangs Man, these fiber lines are super thin. It's a fifth of what like a coax cable line is thickness. So thin. So he got this little thin black line. It's the only line in my yard that would go from the pole to my house. Right in the corner of my yard, where I probably get 3 or 4 limbs down a year.
Right.
From the neighbor's tree. And I'm like, you're just going to come back out and bury it anyway. It's going to be torn down, and I'm going to be pissed. So I was literally going to go. I just walked in. I was like, all right. I was like, literally, I'm going to walk in and call and be like, okay, can you send somebody out to bury the line after he just.
Yeah.
But he listened. He was not happy. He didn't look at me the rest of the day. The rest of the time he was here. So,
He wanted to get to the next job and get done for the day.
yeah, I'm not sure why that took him longer, because he didn't actually bury it. They sent somebody out a week later, yesterday, and buried it. So I don't understand why. I think they tell them to bury it or not to bury it because it costs them more money at install.
Oh.
Because then they got to send somebody else out to bury it. Yeah, it's weird.
So he runs the line and then somebody comes in and buries it?
Yeah, Cox did the same thing for
Now, how do they bury it? Do they run it through some type of conduit?
No, and that may be the other thing. He had to actually call somebody else to bring the buried cable, because it's orange. So they shove a spade or shovel in the yard along a line and kind of peel it back and shove it in there about 6-8 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong? Just don't dig back there, I guess. Anywhere in my backyard could be all kinds of lines back there. So yeah, we'll see how this. Now I need new network equipment because my internet line is faster than my network. So got to figure that problem out. But just buy new stuff.
What type of upload speed are you getting?
If you go from the router, it just maxes out at like 950, 940.
Okay.
900 megabytes.
That's pretty good.
If you test it from the box, from the gateway, whatever, it's not a modem, if they call it a gateway, it's 1.3
okay
gigs. So I'm assuming if I upgrade to I think you go to 2.5 gigabit routers, I'll get close to that 1.2.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Might be worth it. Definitely snappier. As we were talking about last week, it's not just the size of the pipe. It's how fast the pipe is. Oh, where's my giggity? I don't have a giggity. Oh, jeez. I need a giggity. I definitely need one of those sound effects. Ping times, like 40 down to like 6
Nice.
milliseconds. That's the biggest key.
Yeah.
So when I'm surfing YouTube, man, those videos pop right up now.
Yeah, I get to watch another one that sends me down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, speaking of watching YouTube and sending me down a rabbit hole, we had quite a week.
Did we?
Quite a week, yeah. I mean, my back was bothering me, so that was no. But they missed again, Tom. Right about the time I was watching fireworks on Saturday and celebrating the 250th anniversary of the country, they were trying to kill the president again. And at this point, it's just laughable, because why does Trump keep trying to fake his own death?
It was staged, Rob.
Yes. Why does he keep
It was a
faking his own
false
death?
flag. His favorability's down. He's trying to save it.
No.
He needs a ballroom.
Yes, there you go. It's ballroom time. That's the whole reason for this whole thing.
He's a time traveler.
Oh, I did see that video. Time travel. I did see. I think was that Tim Pool had a video on it.
I think so. Yeah,
he's a time traveler. Yeah. He called this leftist teacher in California and said, "Hey, not him. I'm sure not him, but somebody from his team," and said, "Hey, we got something for you to do." And he was all for making Trump look better. Sure, he was. So, as most people know, if you haven't, then you should probably get out more. But President Trump has a lot more in common with the media than he did before last weekend. What's your take on this? You obviously it was. I think I texted you and you didn't even respond. You're like, yeah, whatever. It's another.
I think by the time I didn't even know about it till the next day. I was in bed by that time. What's there to think about it? I mean, another day in the life of President Trump. I
think that's my takeaway. Is I went to work Monday, and I ran into 3 or 4 people and nobody said a word.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything from anybody.
Nobody mentioned it. It was just like, yeah. Okay. Next. Which is sad. We're being desensitized to people trying to kill the president of the United States. Well, I think there's been some maybe it was a kumbaya moment with Trump in the press.
Tell you the truth, though, even when he was campaigning and his ear got shot, nobody said anything then either. So I don't know. I didn't hear anything from anybody.
I think I'm looking more like the people I normally talk to about these things.
Oh.
People who I talk about, hey, did you see what Trump did? Or, hey, did you see this post? And Monday morning was just like, yeah, they didn't even come up. I had to bring it up. And that's why I said, hey, by the way, we've been talking to each other for an hour and a half and neither of us have brought up the fact that they tried to kill the president again. And then we all go, oh, yeah, it's just because it's what's there to talk about? Like you said, like, I think the difference here in this specific one is the media all being in the room together. And then there's also the security was so lax, or what were they doing? Like the armchair quarterbacks. They just released the 4K video, supposedly. Supposedly that was so many things.
Yeah, what was up with that video?
What was up with that video? And what was up that they have another video from the exact same angle that is color and basically 4K in quotes.
No, they blurred the original video when they put it out to the public first. In court, they played the good one.
So how did we get it? Because of the court filings?
Yeah.
Okay. What reason was that done for? I don't know.
I have no idea. It's
but what you can see in the new video, I don't know I guess you could probably see this in the old video, in the original one, but he walks up. They got him walking all around the day before, checking things out, and then they got him walking up to the event. He walks up to the event. They got him on one camera, and then they switch to the camera angle that everybody's seen. And you could see him back there. He walks into a room right before the metal detectors, and a cop and a dog go over and talk to him.
Yeah.
And then they walk away, and then he runs out and starts running. And everybody's like, what is it? What is a cop? Oh my gosh, what can he? I'm like, yeah, he's talking to the guy. He asked him a couple questions. He answered them correctly, and he moved on. And now his next phase is he has to go through the metal detectors. Well, that's when he probably figured out, I better do something now, otherwise. And he started running. I'm not sure how much better most of us would do as somebody running full speed past them.
Oh, he just didn't have a plan.
No.
he just did the retard thing to do. I mean, if he's gonna go for it.
I think the criticism here is tactically they were set up in the bad spots, the Secret Service. And there was only a couple Secret Service people there, 1 or 2. The rest of them were TSA agents sitting on the wall, unarmed. They were doing the bag check and everything. And then they had some police there and stuff that were taking down the metal detectors. But tactically, they're standing across from each other. Like, that's not a great, that's kind of, isn't that like something they train to like make sure if you're going to be, guarding an area, maybe you shouldn't be directly across from the person.
I think it's because people were moving around. Did you see, I didn't see what it looked like at 20 minutes before. They were taking down the metal detector at that point.
Yeah, at that point, they were like, it's just another day. We're going to go through the normal process. And kind of, I guess the criticism we could say is they kind of took it for granted that nothing would happen. Kind of like they kind of get mundane. You get into the event routine. After event after event, a routine. You kind of, nothing's going to happen. You get confirmation bias or normalcy bias, that kind of thing. So
yeah, but I don't. I mean, this guy just kind of ran past that one guard and then ran. I mean, even if they were tactically set up correctly, he would have got about as far.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to, I just think that's the only criticism I really see is they could have been set up differently so there was no crossfire, right?
Yeah, I'm not a security expert, so I can't criticize.
No, but the one cop is standing across from the other one. He raises his gun and shoots. If you saw the slow motion, he's literally firing in the direction of the guy standing across from him. So probably not the greatest spot, but again, they were just cleaning up. And the whole room was completely sealed with like 100 agents inside. So it wasn't like.
Did that teacher, what's his name, Cole Thomas, something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Did he get shot? He didn't get shot, right? No. So what the hell did they hit with? Because they fired like 5 or 6 times, right?
Yeah, I originally thought he shot, and then they shot.
Yeah.
And then nobody got hurt, which is why everybody's like, it was staged. Like, no, if it was staged, he'd be dead. You don't want to leave any. If they're trying to fake this,
if it was staged, they wouldn't find a guy to do it that's been criticizing Trump for the last decade.
True. Yeah, there would be some other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. A lefty teacher from California. That's staged.
So that's the article we have, at least in the show notes, is kind of a recent couple days ago from Channel 3, and they released more of the color images, the videos from his first day in court, and basically he's taking a selfie. I mean, it's got LARPer just screaming. He's in black pants, black shirt, red tie. And he's got knives and stuff, and he put a trench coat on, and he got a shotgun. I mean, his kind of mistake was, come on, man. He got a pump action shotgun bought in California.
Well, yeah. What was he doing with the knives?
Well,
just so weird.
That's like a World War II knife kind of replica, I'm sure. I can't remember the name of it. I have one. And so he's just trying to play the part. Sounds like that's what it looks like to me.
Trust him.
Yeah. So 31, Cole Allen is his name, 31 from Torrance, California. Here's the line that in this article, this Channel 3 article, and I got a couple of clips from some interesting leaked calls that came out from Trump. But here's the line I understood. So going through the article, Allen, Torrance, California, captured, blah, 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 serves agents tasked with saving, blah, blah, blah. And then the next line is Trump, a Republican, was not hurt during it. Like, what? Really? Was that relevant in any way? A small thing, but I did notice it.
All they needed to say was the president was not hurt.
Yes.
that's
Trump, a Republican.
That's how you report. Not Trump, a Republican, was not hurt and was rushed off the stage by his security team.
Everybody knows what party he's with. And even if it doesn't matter if they do know or not. But of course, that evil Nazi bastard Trump. What do you think he did after all this? After getting shot at, attempt on his life number 4, I think this is shot,
3.
Three
that are actually, like
the other one was only a couple days away from him being shot at. I think that was the one in Florida where they found some hunting. Was that the hunting blinds in Mar-a-Lago?
In between the highway or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that, yeah.
Because, South Palm Beach is generally the place you go hunting. I'm sure that you can, but it's generally not around golf courses. They don't usually allow hunting around major golf courses. So, I think, third time somebody actually pointed a gun at him. And so what does he do? Well, there's some calls got leaked out, and some of the press were kind of surprised. I got a couple clips here from this channel called, speaking of quick YouTube and getting sucked in the algorithm even faster, State of Daniel. He's a guy just kind of pops up every now and again on my YouTube channel, goes over. And again, thanks to him because he clipped it and I didn't have to. So here is State of Daniel on ABC News in a phone call Trump was making after the assassination attempt.
Think of the children. Won't somebody please think of the children?
Got to have at least one a show, Tom. At least one a show.
Well, obviously, this would be a traumatic experience for everyone. This is not the first attempt on President Trump's life. And despite all of that, President Trump's focus wasn't on him. One of his first calls actually went to Jonathan Karl of ABC. Yeah, this is really unexpected. So let's tune in.
What?
John, your phone rang early this morning?
Yeah, my phone rang shortly after 7 a.m. My landline, George, actually a number that few people call, and it was President Trump calling. He said at first he was calling to see if I was okay with what happened last night. Are you okay? And then he reiterated many of the things he said in his press conference last night, emphasizing the unity that he felt in that moment, that he felt at the dinner before the shooting and certainly after after with the people who reached out to him. And he said absolutely, and he was quite firm about this, that dinner must be rescheduled. It must be rescheduled. He knows that I was a former president of the White House Correspondents Association and had worked with him on a dinner that never actually happened back during COVID. And he was saying, we've got to get this dinner back on. It has to happen.
That really is amazing if you stop and think about it, because it's not as if this is coming from someone at Newsmax, Fox News, or any of the stations that a Democrat would say, oh, they're only trying to prop up President Trump. Oh, they're only trying to make him look good, right? Jonathan Karl has been a longtime critic of President Trump. He has been a staunch reporter on ABC. And so for him to actually make public this private phone call between him and President Trump and admit, hey, President Trump called me personally to personally check in on me and how I'm doing. I mean, that just cuts against the narrative that the mainstream media, that the Democrats have tried to paint on President Trump.
Ooh, shocking. He actually is a human and not Hitler. Huh. Weird. And then it got even crazier because Brian Stelter got involved here. Here's another clip. He had some interesting comments, I think, that I'm going to pull out of this. I think he might be a little worried about being wrapped up with the president in this. And, well, you'll see what he says.
And of course, the mainstream media is likely to go back to their usual shenanigans, but at least for a moment, they are humanizing President Trump. I mean, even Brian Stelter, yes, Brian Stelter on CNN said this.
You know, a couple minutes before this happened, I was with House Speaker Mike Johnson. I shook Johnson's hand. I was talking to him. And then I was walking across the ballroom, Victor, kind of taking the long way toward the CNN tables because I wanted to see some of my friends and some of my sources. And so I ended up on the ground next to a executive from Comcast, some people from NBC. And in that moment, you know, there was a lot of unity. And I'm thankful that President Trump talked about that unity last night and did not try to heighten the tensions or escalate the situation. He could have very easily gone out there and bashed the press last night and blamed the media for attracting this suspect to the ballroom. But instead, he basically said, we're all in this together. And that's certainly true. And that's how it feels this morning as well.
Brian Stelter also revealed that Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, personally checked in on him after the shooting. They've painted Brendan Carr as some big boogeyman, and yet he was human enough to actually check in on Brian Stelter.
One of the first people who checked on me inside the ballroom was Brendan Carr, who is the Trump FCC chairman. And some of you might know I've been rather critical of some of Carr's actions in the last year.
Yes, you have.
But we were talking a couple of times right afterward. And that's the point, Scott, right? Is that this was, for everybody in the room and who was there, a moment of unity, a shared traumatic experience. And that raises the concern you brought up, Van, about will people who are on the outside who will view the press and the president as all part of the problem together on a night like this, all getting together for a grand old time.
Oh, now you're worried about people looking at you like you're with the president because you're in the same room. Oh, no, heaven forbid. You might get targeted too, Brian. Oh, wait, you were. Oh, that's right, you were. He's, how easily he could have come out. Yes, Brian. Easily could have come out and said, thanks, guys. I owe this one to you.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Just another side of, I think, a side of Trump that most people don't see. And it's kind of one that I kept hearing about after he got elected in 16. You know, people that had no reason, no motive to say nice things about him. They were like, yeah, he did this and he did that, you know. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Like Bill Maher came out. You know, he
saw it.
He saw it after he had dinner with them.
Yep.
What did Trump do? He signed.
He came with the printout of all the tweets and stuff.
All the things that Bill Maher said, or that Trump said about Bill Maher, and he autographed it for Bill. Which is hilarious.
Bill said he's never going to get rid of that or something. That was like something he's going to cherish. He's like, I'm like, yeah. And you could see a difference in Bill after that meeting.
Well, he's actually paying attention to the news. Yeah. He's not
he sees things in a different light because he doesn't look at Trump as a monster because he's met him. You've actually been in one-on-one. And the problem with this topic or with Bill Maher saying these things is most of the people in Washington, most of the people in Congress have met him and dealt with him for years before he was a politician. They know exactly who he is.
I think Chuck Schumer used to like try to get money out of Trump. So
he used to give the both. He used to always give the both sides.
Yeah.
As a businessman, especially in the city of New York.
Right.
But internationally, he'd do international deals, and that's what you do. Mm-hmm. As a smart businessman, you cover both your angles. All of them do it. The Haslams do it. And, they did it to get, mostly Republican in Ohio because it's run by Republicans. But if it was run by Democrats, they'd be doing the same thing. And that's the kicker of all this is this what I've always said. He easily would have worked with Democrats on a lot of issues. A lot of issues I would have hated.
Oh, yeah.
But because they're such babies and I don't know what else to put it, he was just like, "Oh, scorched earth, screw you. You're not getting anything."
They can't get past the identity politics. Trump's nothing more than like a 1990s Democrat.
Yeah.
Business Democrat, I guess you could call it.
Blue dog Democrat, he would be. So pro business, but socially progressive.
Yeah. It's socially progressive, but not so far, left.
Right.
But it's they could have easily worked with them, but they chose a different path, and it really kind of blew up in their face.
Yeah. Yeah, they chose to side with the extreme of their party.
Mm-hmm. Because it was growing.
Yes. But of course, in typical fashion, our friends at the Babylon Bee have put in an article. I got to put it because there's a clip we're going to talk to next. I'll talk or listen to and talk about next. But this is the Babylon Bee. Here's the headline. No, bear with me. This is quite a headline. Headline is, "This is a both sides issue," says side that shot President Trump, assassinated Charlie Kirk, tried to assassinate Kavanaugh, tried to shoot Trump again, shot Steve Scalise, firebombed Governor Shapiro, tried to shoot Trump a third time, continued, hold on, I got to scroll down, continued, murdered school kids in Minnesota, murdered school kids in Nashville, murdered an elderly Jewish woman to death in Colorado, in Colorado, murdered a couple at a Jewish embassy in D.C., seized campus buildings and held janitors hostage, assaulted students on campus who appeared Jewish, ambushed ICE officers in Dallas and shot an officer in the neck, assassinated FBI officer David Underwood, assassinated the United Healthcare CEO, cheered the murder of over 1,200 civilians on October 7th, murdered school kids in Colorado in 2019, injured over 700 police officers in 2020 riots, murdered retired police captain David Dorn, murdered a 16-year-old boy in Chaz, burned down Minnesota, firebombed a Washington ICE center, murdered 6 people in Waukesha, assassinated 5 Dallas officers in 2016, assassinated 3 police officers in Baton Rouge in 2016. You know what? We're going to stop here. Now, this is just getting sad.
They left.
That was the article.
Yeah. They left the May 29th, 2020 out.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a big one.
They ran out of ink. They ran out of ink.
Yeah, I guess so. That, just for anybody that doesn't remember, they tore down the barricades to the White House and set that church on fire.
Set the church on fire, tore down the barricades, breached the outer perimeter of the White House, burned a guard shack, and injured like 10 officers.
Yeah, and sent the president into the bunker.
Yeah, they made fun of them because they breached the outer perimeter, and protocol is to put the president in the bunker when there's a breach of the White House perimeter. And then they complained because he wanted to walk across the street and see the damage the day later of the church. So the only way to do it, because they wouldn't peacefully disperse, they tear gassed him. And I bet he smiled from ear to ear. So it's both sides, right? That's what I keep hearing.
There's nothing really on the other side. They try to lump the white supremacists as far right, but it's not really far right. And it's usually not political.
Let's listen. This is a clip from News Nation. I don't know who the 2 women are. I think they do say the name of the woman who's going to speak, but go through some of these stats. But they're both talking to Geraldo Rivera, and they're having a conversation about both sides. So let's listen to her breakdown. This is again News Nation clip. Both sides.
Geraldo brought up this idea that the left and the right are equal when it comes to calls for violence or acts of violence. You have done an amazing job of digging through the data. And what did you find?
All right. So, Geraldo, see if you find this compelling.
Okay.
All right. So it seems to me that there are three main sources that you hear a lot from the mainstream media that allegedly prove that the problem we have right now of political violence is a both sides problem. There's the Cato Institute, there's the Prosecution Project out of the University of Cincinnati, and then there's the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Now, these are all always shared by the likes of The Economist, the Wall Street Journal today shared Center for Strategic and International Studies. The problem is when you dig down into that data, it is so deeply flawed. Let me just give you a few examples, okay? The Prosecution Project, supposed to list all of the acts of political violence in America, does not list Charlie Kirk's assassination, does not list Trump's assassination attempts, does not list any George Floyd violence. 24 Americans lost their lives during those riots, not listed. But every white nationalist who's a drug dealer, that gets listed. So they list 33 white Aryan Nation people Nazis, who had a meth lab. This is political violence because they happen to be white nationalists. All right, Cato does not list the 9/11 victims, does not list any George Floyd violence. Center for Strategic and International Studies, where does it get its data from? The ADL, highly partisan, and the Southern, which just was revealed to have allegedly been funding the very racists that they were supposed to be fighting. And finally, I just have to mention this, the Center for Strategic and International Studies has in its methodology section, it says all anti-Semitism is right-wing. Any attacks on Jews or Jewish institutions, they reclassified it. If it was in the name of Palestinians, they reclassified it as ethno-nationalist. So by their definition, there's no such thing as left-wing anti-Semitism, which we all know is just nonsense. This is the data. It is flawed. Shame on the Wall Street Journal and shame on The Economist because they're giving a flawed view. And I totally agree with Katie. We can't, it would be so nice to say, kumbaya, we all share the problem. You cannot fix a problem if you are lying about what it is.
Yeah. I think that would be
that was one of the better explanations I've heard.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. You're saying?
No, that was just one of the better explanations I've heard. Usually they kind of miss a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, Geraldo looked very concerned and irritated. And
when's that guy gonna just leave?
I know. When not soon enough. But I'm also finished playing it. The more you know, Tom. The more you know.
I don't know what that is. Okay.
Oh, you never saw that from the PSAs they used to have in the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It had the more you know behind it. Dead. Killing that one. All right. So yeah, like she's saying, any white nationalist is automatically considered right wing.
Yeah, but it's not even political, usually.
True. I would just say those. So the white nationalists tend to be, I should say, kind of those are the Nazis, skinheads, that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall the difference between communism and Nazism? Because in America, we think one's on the right, left, that's communism. And Nazism's on the right.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's not. There is, to me, I see it differently in America. I see it's not right or left. It's not communism or Nazism. It's total control and anarchy. So on the right is anarchy. On the left is total control. That's how I see it.
Okay.
And then the left and right is kind of up and down on the graph, if you could picture it. So we got a line graph left and right, and because the only difference between communism and the Nazi Party, because the Nazi Party is what, if you remember, the National Socialist Party.
Right.
Communism is socialism for the whole world. Nazism was socialism in Germany's way. Like it was
nationalistic.
Nationalistic, yeah. It was nationalistic or internationalistic was basically the difference, if that makes sense. So communists would say, workers of the world unite. The Nazis would say, workers of Germany unite. Kind of difference. They're the same party. They're the same people. They just have a different way to go at it. So one is not on the right and one is not on the left. They are both on the left. That's one thing. I go, but as she's saying, so anybody who's pro-Palestinian is not a hate group. They're just I forget what she called it. But anybody who criticizes Israel is on the right. Is a right-wing hate. Like, hello. So it is not both sides. It is not both sides. It never has been both sides, and it drives me nuts when people say that, because
boy, the media does a good job though promoting that.
Oh yeah, and I ask people, okay, when was the last time you saw right-wing pundits? When was the last time Fox News called Joe Biden Stalin? They never have, probably, and if they have, it was one time. It wasn't every day, every person on every news news station. They are part of the problem. And I'm hoping to some extent, I mean, this is highly optimistic, but I'm hoping maybe some of them at least kind of saw that. What they do and what they say has actual repercussions on life and the way people see. Because if you say because literally if we had Hitler in the White House, you could see how a crazy person would come to the conclusion, well, I got to do something. But you do. Yeah,
the thing is, I think most people have. But you're never gonna break through that. I guess that lefty wall of ignorance of the people calling him. They're never going to change their mind. Is what
they're projecting. So how can you change that? They're the actual Nazis.
Well, right, but I mean, they don't see it that way.
Oh yeah. I think the ones pushing it know what they're doing. It's the crazy people that are online saying, "Well, somebody's got to do it." When is somebody going to do it? They'll just leave a comment on a story. When is somebody going to do it?
And the thing is, nobody in the media defends. I guess, and doesn't like push back on that type of rhetoric.
Oh no, you would lose half your audience if you did. So why would they do that?
Would you? Or would you start gaining?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
they don't see it.
MSNBC would lose half their audience. CNN, they might actually start gaining audience if they're being truthful.
Yeah, you might get some of your credibility back, but that's the hard road. Who's going to do that? Let's just keep.
Well, when all you did was hire a bunch of lefty college graduates, it's kind of hard to overcome that.
Yes,
I mean that's a huge problem.
Yeah, it's in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
In the bubble, you don't need a college degree to be a journalist, by the way. Just so you know. You just need to be you need to be interested in a lot of things and have a curious mind. That's all.
Yeah, no, a journalist was a blue collar job for the longest time. Now these prima donna students are getting their degree in journalism and paying so much for their diploma, and then they're getting jobs that are not paying it back. But it's a status thing.
The good news is most of the journalism degrees get used up at Starbucks. So good
yeah, well, of course.
Speaking of, white nationalists and racism and stuff, the Supreme Court came down with another ruling. They've gotten a couple of them. One we'll probably talk about is a couple from last week. One is the Civil Rights Act or the Voting Rights Act. It's not the Civil Rights Act. So SCOTUS came out with a ruling on gerrymandering. And it's interesting to me. Did you hear how this case came about? Like why they're at the Supreme Court and where it started? Did you catch that?
Wasn't it because of Texas?
No, Louisiana.
Yeah, well, right. But I mean, okay, go ahead.
Well, this case specifically started in Louisiana because Louisiana Democrats tried to gerrymander some districts so they can go from a 5-1 state, so they have 5 Republicans, 1 Democrat representative in the House, to a 4-2 by moving around the gerrymandering it to the where they could, so basically, if people don't understand, I was trying to explain this to my daughter actually. And basically if you have some people are going to vote a certain way in a district that they're being overwhelmed by people voting the opposite way, if you take them out and start collecting them into another district, you can make that district, you could change the way that district votes. So if you get enough people, and if you know that a certain kind of people, certain type of people, certain cultural people in America vote like, I don't know, 90, 95% one way, you could put them in, group them together by race, of course, definitely not racist at all. And you could treat them differently and put them in their own category, and they can start getting districts voting a certain way. And that's why I think if you look at a county map of a national presidential election, most of the country is red, except for around all the cities.
Right.
Where they've gerrymandered it to, like Chicago is one of the worst. So Supreme Court, so the Democrats brought this case up because they were trying to gerrymander it so they can get an extra seat in Louisiana. And what it's actually ended up happening, they're going to lose that seat and maybe the other seat too.
I think they're going to lose like about 3 seats in Louisiana, right?
Well, they only had they only gained 1. They went from, I think Louisiana has 6 representatives, I think they're saying.
Oh, okay.
And they had 1. The Democrats tried to gerrymander to get from a 5-1 to a 4-2 state. 4 Republicans, 2 Democrats. And then when the state said no, they sued and went to the Supreme Court and they lost. Let's listen to a little bit of the hyperbolic nature of this case from, of course, this is IdeaStream article, but it's an NPR report. So bear with us on that. Voting rights, IdeaStream, and oh my gosh. And it kind of, it's good because you take a listen. They do come up, just a couple minutes, they do come up with, they do talk about one of the reasons why this was enacted. So I don't understand maybe why they started doing it at first, but let's listen.
A Supreme Court ruling could alter election maps across this country.
On Wednesday, the court's conservative Republican supermajority made it much harder to apply the Voting Rights Act. Voting rights advocates have long considered the law the crown jewel of the civil rights movement.
NPR's Hansi Lo Wong covers voting rights and is with us. Hansi, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Okay, so this is a ruling concerning a specific congressional district, just one in Louisiana. But what is the most important thing to think about as this is applied elsewhere?
This ruling reinterprets longstanding protections against racial discrimination and redistricting, and it's going to make it much, much harder to challenge voting maps, not just for Congress, but at all levels of government, with claims that the maps unfairly weaken the collective voting power of racial minorities in places where white majority voters and minority voters of color tend to prefer different candidates.
Okay, so the idea of the Voting Rights Act in the 1960s was if black voters had their voting power diluted by gerrymandering, you could draw new black majority districts to correct that. That was the operation before. What's the rule after the Supreme Court opinion?
Well, the conservative Justice Samuel Alito wrote the majority opinion for the court, and Alito said the focus of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which is the section at the heart of this Louisiana case, Alito said the focus of it should be intentional racial discrimination.
Intentional racial discrimination. That's the change?
Yes. Congress amended the Voting Rights Act decades ago to say that Section 2 should focus on any discriminatory effects of a redistricting plan. And, one legal expert I talked to yesterday was Tiva Ellis at Case Western Reserve University. And Ellis said that proving intentional discrimination, this new standard, is notoriously difficult.
We, in essence, are asking plaintiffs now to find a smoking gun. The proof of the racist intent that is sort of objectively and consciously articulated in order to prove their case. The problem with discrimination cases is that most legislators in this context know better than to say that.
So in practice, Atiba Ellis and other legal experts say these Section 2 protections may now end up being basically impossible to enforce.
So you could have a discriminatory effect, but still struggle to prove that it was a discriminatory intent. Is there an immediate effect ahead of the midterm elections we have this year?
Well, Republican-controlled states, especially in the South, could try to eliminate some Democratic-represented House districts that the Voting Rights Act was likely protecting. But it is late April, and we are past most state candidate filing deadlines for this year's midterm election. Now, that hasn't stopped Republicans in places like Louisiana, Georgia, and Tennessee from urging their states' maps to be redrawn as soon as possible. I should note there's a request in for the Supreme Court to speed up certifying its rulings so that Louisiana can try to redistrict. But again, the timing makes this tricky to do this year. This could be a multi-year redraw in the end. And whenever this redistricting happens, part of the bottom line here is that with the further weekend Voting Rights Act, the United States may be headed towards seeing the largest ever decline in representation by Black members of Congress.
This ruling comes just as Florida is the latest state to redraw its or try to redraw its maps.
That's right. And this is a map that the governor's office in Florida has cited the ruling to make a case for it. It was unveiled early this week, and we'll see how it plays out.
Hansi, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
That's NPR's Hansi Lo Wang.
Think Hansi's ever gotten handsy with anybody? Hansi. Yeah. So a crazy standard to be put in. You actually have to prove that the redistricting is racist before you approve it, before it's approved, or before you can change it or redistrict it. It's crazy. So this was meant to prevent or reverse a lot of the redlining that went on, in the early 1900s. Like, in that progressive heaven, Chicago. Yeah. I don't think that really happens too much anymore, do you?
What do you mean?
Do they redline anymore? Are they? I mean, I guess
it's already redlined.
I guess. What do you mean?
Oh, what do you mean? I guess.
So this was put in the Voting Rights Act to reverse or prevent redistricting on racial lines. So they were at the time they were doing the reverse. They were putting Black people in districts where they would have no voting power, and this was meant to reverse that and prevent it in the future. I think it's gone too far, and it's now been flipped.
Right.
So they are still redlining. It's just now they're redlining in favor of Black people or Hispanics or whoever.
In favor of Democrats. Democrats,
sure, but it's specific to the Black community, Hispanic community, because they tend to vote Democrat in very high. You're not going to do this with the white community because it's 50-50 in a lot of cases. Not necessarily always, but even 60-40 is not worth it. But if you know a certain culture or a certain group of people will vote 80, 90% one way, that's the only way it really works.
Mm-hmm. But they need a voice, Rob.
Yes, I think I'd be interested because they're talking about a huge drop in minority representation. Do we know what is the? I don't know.
Makeup of the Congress?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to spend the show Googling things, but
no. I'm
wondering what the makeup of the House of Representatives is, because if it's more than 13% of it, then maybe we should. Because I don't think you can just go, hey, this population has this many people, they need to have this much representation. I'm thinking the solution. I mean, I know it's crazy, but maybe they should try to present candidates that people like and are good for everybody, not just people who look like you in your community.
Right now, I just Googled that there's 13%.
Oh, it's perfect then. But I mean, just because you have 13% of the population does not mean you automatically have to have 13% of the representation.
No, because
zero, but
what was that?
You shouldn't have zero, but it doesn't mean you have to hit a certain number. It's not like they do at the workplace. They want engineers to be 50% women and 50% men. It's like, no. So I'm saying I think we're good. I think if they put in candidates that people like and fight for the things that most people fight for, they'll win, black or white. I mean, we have a black president, right?
Kind of.
Well, people get really mad when you mention his other side. I don't know. I think it should be pretty hard to prove this. I think this just puts a little more guardrails. It doesn't cut it. It doesn't remove it. It just puts some barriers on it. You have to actually prove that you're being harmed. I think there'll be some cases you can prove that they were racist any other way.
Oh yeah.
Moving along. Speaking of voting rights ruling, we have election tomorrow. As this show drops, the election is tomorrow, the primary. And here's a nice article from Channel 5. Got a clip here from it too. But Morgan has a pretty extensive article about the 2026 primary, and she kind of breaks down a lot of the Senate races, the House races, a lot of the issues that are being put up in different communities. I mean, she's got Attorney General, Secretary of State, State Auditor, all the way down. And there's one that stood out to me. But you know what? Let's listen to the clip first, because again, with the voting rights fresh on your mind ruling, there's some fear of this election. So Channel 5 would like to help you understand. What did I do with my? Oh boy! What if I didn't pull that clip? Oh darn! I guess we won't talk about it then. But anyway, the clip basically talked about the changes and all the IDs you're going to need now, which are the same IDs you needed before. If you haven't mailed in your ballot yet, then here it is. I got it right here. Then you're kind of screwed. Let's listen real quick.
Primary election day is less than a week away, so if you want to make sure that your vote is counted, there are some recent changes that you'll want to keep in mind here. If you were hoping to vote absentee, your deadline to request a ballot has passed, so you will have to go to the polls to cast that ballot. You have 3 more days to vote early at your county board of elections if you don't want to go to your polling site on election day. Now, if you did request an absentee ballot on time, it needs to arrive at your county board of elections by the time the polls close on Tuesday, even by mail. Also, remember that you need ID to vote as well. An unexpired state ID, passport, or U.S. military ID will do.
The SAVE Act that people may have heard about at the federal level is not active law. It is not in play in Ohio, and we don't want individuals to get confused with that, thinking that they need to bring additional documentation above and beyond what the standard forms of ID that individual needs to bring when they go to vote.
And as always, polls will be open on primary election day, Tuesday, May the 5th, from 6:30 in the morning until 7:30 at night.
Imagine that. Voting on election day. Crazy thought, isn't it? I don't think the SAVE Act, this guy's talking about the SAVE Act, and don't worry about it. I don't think the SAVE Act would have changed anything on election day.
No.
What the heck? You still need your valid driver's license, passport, that kind of stuff. You can't give them an EBT card. You can't give them a phone bill, anything like that. It has to be something with your picture on it. I know it's hard. I know there's some groups out there that have a problem getting IDs, we were told. So you may have a problem with that, but there's people out there that can help. So yeah, check out this article. It's got a lot of stuff. If you're wondering who's running in your area, very good chance she has it on here. And the one question I have is where is it? There was a district for judges. Man, this thing's long. This thing is, here it is.
Well, you could just skip to your district.
Yeah, 8th District Court of Appeals, Cuyahoga. Judge 1. There's a Democrat, no Republican, no Libertarian. Judge 2, Democrat, no Republican, no Libertarian. Judge 3, Democrat, so on. Oh, now Judge 4, there's a Republican.
That's because it's Cleveland. I'm sure that's.
Yeah, it is Cleveland. It was CuyaHoga. It's the judges for CuyaHoga County Appeals Court. So there's out of 5 judges, there's 1 Republican.
Mm-hmm. And he won't win.
Well, no, she actually. Oh no, it's Anthony. You're right. Yeah, no, probably not. Probably a fat chance. Yeah, they're all incumbents, except for 1, 2. Yeah, they're all incumbents. Now, most other districts have. Okay, 10th district. This is Franklin. That is, I believe that's Columbus, or right around Columbus.
Yep.
No Republicans. Yep. Now we have the reverse. 8th District Court of Appeals, Ashtabula, Geauga, Lake, and Portage, and Trumbull. No Democrats or Libertarians, just 2 Republicans. Ooh, that happened again the 12th. This is very interesting, so check it out. This is kind of what happens when I go vote. I'm like, why am I voting when there's 1 person up for the spot? I mean,
it's a primary.
No, it'll happen in the general as well.
Well, you got to vote, or they got to get a vote.
Right. I know. I was like, well, why am I? So I guess why should I vote for that person? They've already won.
Yeah, usually
they voted for themselves. I'm sure. Or
I skip over them. Yeah.
Yeah, I generally don't vote for those because it doesn't matter. So yeah, check it out. It's a quite lengthy and detailed article. Got a lot of stuff in it. And then is there anything out there Tom, that you use to find out like what to vote? Because on election day or
anything I use?
Yeah, you're getting tips because
no, there was a it was Marshall something. It was Marshall. I forget exactly, but
Marshall Project?
Marshall Project. That's it. They do a nice review on judges running. They interview them, and you kind of get a good sense of their values.
That's good.
But besides that, I just kind of pay attention to their campaign and try to hear as much. Like this time, there's nothing I'm really. That Marcel Stribich running for secretary. Is he running for
Secretary of State? I believe.
Yeah. He's the only one that I would vote over Sprague. He's running against Sprague, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Secretary of State, Russo, Brian. Democrat is Robert Sprague and Marcel Stribich.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 2 Democrats. Now the other interesting thing is,
but you're gonna see. I always forget. You just get the Republican card, right? They ask you whether you want the Republican card or the Democrat card.
I believe they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, governor and lieutenant governor. The Democrats only have 1 choice.
Yeah.
Almost like they have nobody in the. But yeah, check out. I think it's pretty good kind of a lot of stuff in the article. But yeah, check it out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There was a bipartisan helpline. If you see any shenanigans, you can always write that down, give them a call, and say, hey, ask them questions, all that kind of stuff. Check it out. Tomorrow's voting day. Get out and vote. But lots of levies. Most levies since 2020.
I don't have one at all.
Yeah.
By me. My area, my city is kind of boring this time around. So I'm not that tuned in.
Yeah, we got income tax instead of levy for schools. I'm still debating on voting for it or not. I think I might. Because, if you're going to complain and bitch and complain about nothing changing, they come up with something different. I mean, it might be worth a shot. That's a game time decision I'm going to make it when I walk into the voting booth.
Flip of the coin.
Flip of the coin. Yeah, we'll see how I'm feeling that day. It doesn't look good for the state, for the city, but we'll give them. There might be some. You're saying there's a chance. Yes, there's a chance. Next, we have we got a bill running, a couple of bills. Maybe we could have done like a mini critter corner here. Let them out. They haven't been out in a while. So we got to stretch their legs. Got a couple here. SB 396 now running, introduced as a state-run family leave bill, and I got some questions on it. And we'll listen to Idea Stream's take on this story.
More than 3/4 of Ohio workers don't have paid leave. They could get up to 14 weeks of state-funded paid leave to help them deal with newborns, medical emergencies, or elderly or ill family members under a bipartisan bill in the Ohio Senate and a similar Republican-sponsored bill in the House. When her twins were born at just 28 weeks, Madison Greenspan of Cleveland says she and her husband struggled to keep their jobs and spend time with their babies in neonatal intensive care. She ended up not returning to work.
I do believe that if paid family leave existed then, I would have had a fighting chance being able to keep my job and care for my daughters. We were fortunate we were able to survive on one income for a short time, but other families aren't able to.
Greenspan is now advocating for the bill to create a family and medical leave insurance program administered by the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and funded by workers and employers, each kicking in payroll contributions of 0.4%. Republican sponsor Senator Bill Blessing says 14 states guarantee paid leave, so he says this is a pro-business idea. Karen Kassler at the Ohio Public Radio State House News Bureau.
So they say it's state-funded, but it doesn't sound like it's state-funded.
No.
What the heck?
The state would control it.
Yeah, it's run by the state. Because it would be done. It's very similar. It's basically another level of unemployment.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do with unemployment. You and your employer pitch in a fraction of a percent. I mean, unless the federal government gets involved, and then you can go on like forever on it. But that's only if the federal government gives the state the money. Then it's just welfare. But right now, as of right now, do you see a problem with this?
Well, ideally, I would like women to have more time off after birth.
And men.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah.
I think they can use a couple of weeks. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Right. Whatever. But I think that would help as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. I just don't want the government handling it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. I don't like it either. I'm just not sure how else you do it. You're either going to have a law that forces companies to include it, or you're going to have a law that forces companies and employers to pitch into a fund. You know, it's kind of. I
didn't read the bill. So, like, does some 16-year-old that works at McDonald's and gets knocked up, is she going to be able to collect? And she's living with her parents. I guess I just want to see more. I think it's okay. I'm all right with it. It just needs some guardrails.
Sure. Always. Yeah, it doesn't give a whole lot of details on that kind of stuff. I would say yes, because
and I looked
that's what it usually is.
I looked at what did they say? 12 states that have it, or 13 states?
Yeah,
have it.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, they said 13, and I looked which 13, and they're all pretty far left. It's like California, Maine, Colorado. I mean, just every lefty state.
Well, it's bipartisan, Bill, Tom.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's see here.
I like the idea of it. To me, it makes it easier to have a family, and I think young people have a hard time having a family now. That's there's a lot of reasons people are starting later, trying to start a family, but
I think
this would make it a little easier. I just don't want it being abused and
taken advantage of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that's usually my problem.
Is that girl serving your Rally's burger that has like 5 kids at home gonna get this?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. See, that's where it gets.
Yeah, but she paid into it, so did the employer. So why does it bother me?
Yeah, but so did I.
You did?
Right?
Well, you paid into your part. I mean, ideally, you're paying for your part along with the company, just like unemployment.
Yeah, but is everyone pitching in on this?
According to, because of lack of evidence, I'm assuming yes. That would be on almost everybody. Just, again, I think it's Health and Family Services or whatever it's called. That's who administers unemployment. I think it would. If you think of unemployment, I think that's what they're looking at. Same kind of deal. I would think most everybody would pitch into it automatically. It's part of your.
So I would be pitching in on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, for you though.
But I'll never need it.
again, true, I'm not being, but you do that now with unemployment.
But that's a security blanket for me.
So is this. Of course, when you're 75 years old, obviously you're not going to be using it. Sure. Maybe not. But you could be using it for health reasons. What if you get sick? Because right, then it does say that in here for family and for health. Yeah. Funded for workers, employers, each kicking in payroll will allow workers to take 14 weeks for paid leave, 12-month period conditions and situations that qualify for job protection time off under the Federal Family and Medical Leave Act. So yeah, even medical leave. So you'd be pitching in, but yeah, you could use it. I don't know. I'm a big fan of it because the government and unemployment is abused all the time.
How so?
People who can work are on it, but I mean, there's people who are on it that don't look for jobs and aren't even planning on working for that. To me,
yeah, but it's 6 months, so you have to work a certain amount of time in the year to collect unemployment. Welfare, on the other hand, is a different story.
Right.
So
right. I think this would be the same thing. You'd have to work a certain amount of time to build up some credit, and then the bill will allow workers to take 14 weeks of paid leave in a 12-month period. So you can only do 14 weeks every year.
I don't see unemployment being abused as much as like welfare. I'm sure there's people that do it.
Oh, for sure. To me, if you're sitting at home collecting unemployment and not looking for a job, to me, that's abusing unemployment.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if they're looking for a job. Yeah, you're right.
There are plenty of jobs out there. That's how I know they're not looking for, that's how I see it.
I don't know. My wife's was laid off. It's been 3 months and she's looking for a job every day.
Mm-hmm.
She's not abusing it.
No, right. Of course not. She's looking for a job. But I'm saying if you're the poor person in the inner city who is unemployed, there's plenty of jobs.
Are they unemployed or are they on welfare?
Well, at one point they were unemployed on unemployment for. Imagine. This is.
You got like 25 weeks of unemployment.
22.
Yeah,
you have to work 22 weeks to get unemployment or something like that.
Something like that, and you get 20.
And you get like
25 weeks.
Smitten of what you made.
Yeah, it basically gets you by.
Basically, yeah,
kind of.
Basically, kind of, sort of, depends. And also speaking of Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services, that's a large encompassing thing too. It's not just unemployment. They do WIC and all that stuff. I think that's where you get administered from that, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. I never needed it. So
how else do you get people family leave if you don't do it? If you don't force the companies to do it, because they're not going to do it by themselves.
Companies offer it, don't they?
Well, no. For the most part, I would say no. Maternity leave, yeah. You can take maternity leave, but you're not getting paid.
Okay.
I think it's rare to have a company voluntarily pay you maternity leave. Like California forces companies to give you 12 months, I think, or something crazy like that, maternity leave, paternity or maternity leave.
I'm okay with it, actually.
I don't know. I do like it because it's not just out of my tax dollars, but I don't know.
I'm all right.
It just makes a government agency even bigger.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks. But this is in a way, I think it's a good thing for young families.
It may be better if it was.
Does it promote starting a family?
Yeah.
I think, population's in decline. We need people making babies. And if the fact that they need to take time off from work is stopping them, then maybe this is a good thing.
Yeah. And I'm sure it is. It was something we considered. I mean, it didn't stop us when we were having kids, but it was, you had to budget for it.
Yeah. No, right.
Vacation and all that stuff. So it would have made it easier. Yeah.
I think a lot of people try to. You guys started a little older. I'm talking about like the 20-year-olds, or let's say the 22-year-olds that just got married. This is a big help.
Yeah, especially at that age.
22, 24. That's when they should be doing it, right?
And it's when it's the hardest to make money, and you don't have a lot of you don't have a career maybe yet, and so you don't have all this established.
Well, that's when they keep saying, well, I'm going to wait until I get going. And then by the time you get going, it's a little too late sometimes.
Yeah.
So
all in all,
I think it's okay.
Yeah. All in all, it's a good thing. Not perfect, but it's a good thing. Next is, the opposite of the opposite of this story, which is there's a bill in the state, says the Democrats introduced a bill that would legalize medically assisted death for terminally ill patients. So quite different than encouraging more families. Let's listen to, this is Morgan Trow, News Channel 5.
A new bill is described as trying to give terminally ill patients death with dignity. At the State House today, a group of lawmakers introduced legislation to allow physician-assisted suicide.
Your Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trow breaks down what the bill would do and the praise and the concern it's been receiving.
I love my life.
6 months.
This is not about giving up.
That's how much time Michael Oser's doctor told him he has left.
I have terminal cancer.
He says he isn't worried about when he dies, but how.
I don't want the pain and suffering, but not necessarily for me.
He doesn't want his family to go through the pain that Jim O'Neill did when he and his daughter Rochelle lost their wife and mother, Addie, to cancer.
She wished for a way to end her suffering on her terms, sparing herself the pain and her family the trauma of watching her slowly fade away. She did not have that option.
They're supporting a newly introduced bill that would allow for medical aid in dying or physician-assisted suicide.
It is a decision shared between them, their faith, their loved ones, and their medical providers.
Beechwood Democrat Eric Sonnenberg's bill authorizes terminally ill patients who live in Ohio and are at least 18, given a prognosis of 6 months to live by 2 separate doctors, and have mental health evaluations and are competent to make decisions, to take medication to end their life.
No individual, provider, or facility is required to participate.
Social worker Jessica Rogers is fighting against the bill, saying it's coercive to vulnerable groups as the medication needed in assisted suicides is cheaper than full hospice care.
We want them to have the full range of appropriate end-of-life care, and it is not appropriate end-of-life care to abandon a patient with lethal drugs to overdose on.
She and groups like Ohio Right to Life and the Catholic Conference of Ohio argue that this lacks guardrails. Rogers points out that it's been used in cases of severe anorexia, an eating disorder that can be reversible in Colorado.
This is legitimizing the idea that some people have a life not worth living. And when that's the case, it's perfectly acceptable societally for them to take their own life.
I have lived with dignity in Ohio. When my time comes, I should be able to die here with dignity.
This bill may be a hard sell in the Republican-controlled legislature, but the advocates in favor say it's worth a conversation. At the Ohio State House, I'm Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trow.
They didn't tell us how many more states do it now. How am I supposed to compare? And of course, Morgan, again, another article with a bill introduced and no bill number. Great reporting.
That's Morgan.
Great reporting, Morgan. What's your take on this, Tom? I'm wondering. Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It's the problem I have is when if the state's getting involved. Is Medicare sitting there going, yeah, you know,
it's a little much cheaper to give you this one prescription than the next 50.
Right.
Yeah. That's, to me, this is a hard sell.
If it's the patient making the decision with their family, and let's say they got 6 months to live, but you might live those 6 months pretty good until the last maybe month or so.
Not even that. I know of a couple of people, at least one recent one that came to mind. 6 months to live, and they lived 3 years.
Well, yes.
Of good 3 years. Not they weren't sick for those 3 years.
But if you're asking me, the person that is given that prognosis that he's going to die in 6 months, he's not going to choose to do this until there's he's really in bad decline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any guarantee that that's actually. I mean, They do cite an example of Colorado, somebody who was anorexic wanted to kill themselves because they're anorexic.
Right,
all they got to do is eat. Yeah.
Well, right, but if this says you have to be given a prognosis of 6 months to live by 2 different doctors and a mental health evaluation, it all depends on who's doing those evaluations.
Yes. And so I don't trust those people at all.
I do think people should be able to do this. It's up, like they mentioned, it's up to your family and your faith and you. I think they should be able to do it if they want to. I just don't want. It just depends on who's deciding this.
Yeah, I think it opens the door for massive people to take advantage of this. I get it. It's a personal choice kind of thing. It's how much control does the government have over you?
So here's Canada. Canada's doing this, right? And it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty loose.
It's pretty loose. I mean, you could be depressed and choose to do this. So roughly 1 in every 20 deaths in Canada right now is medically assisted.
Wow.
1 in 20, 5% of all deaths in Canada. Well, this is in 2024. So since 2016, and I think it really picked up here the last couple of years, there's been 76,000 of these. And it's growing right now. So it grew 6 or almost 7% from 2023. So in 2024, it made up 5% of all deaths. So I don't have all the numbers here, so I can't figure out how many more. But it grew almost 7%. So if it keeps going that way, people are just going to be like, yeah, I'm not feeling good today. Let me knock off.
Yeah. So questions. Do you remember the name Terry Schiavo?
Yeah.
So she was Florida resident. I think there was a big lawsuit for years. Her family wanted to keep her on life support. Her husband wanted to pull the plug. How does this react? How does this help or not help in that situation?
It doesn't do anything for that situation.
Well, if you have power of attorney and you are making medical decisions for that person, that you don't have the right to make that decision for him. I don't know. That's the question I have.
Yeah, but she was on a machine.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like she was. That's a different.
Well, not really, is it?
Yeah. If you're living on a machine, that's not the same thing as suicide.
But who gets to choose? Does the husband who has the power of attorney get to choose that this person no longer wants to live and wants to commit suicide?
Yeah, because she left.
Well, I guess if they're not terminally ill. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the key.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah. I gotcha. I don't know. I don't know. I really struggle with this one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't like it. No, I don't like it in general. I don't like it.
Well, I don't think somebody should, but I think if somebody's going through like if they're rotting away and in suffering, then I'm kind of like, oh, okay, if they wanted to, who am I to say no?
So if this guy is in the clip, he's given 6 months to live and he goes to 2 doctors, can he just do it right now?
That's where, to me, it's strange.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it would be almost like if it's gotten to the point where he's going into hospice and he wants to do this, then I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But this is like, okay, he could still take a world tour for the next couple months. He could live for a
few more years, easily.
He might be able to.
Who knows?
I'm just saying I'm okay with it when it's like when you're to the point where you're suffering.
Yeah. I don't know. Let us know. Oh, that's next. But hey, we'll just move it up. Let us know what you think. What's your opinion on medically assisted suicide? Good, not good, in between? Let us know.
I mean, if you're Catholic, you're going to say this is not good.
CrookedRivercast@gmail.com. Yes. Well, most would. I can't. Yeah, just something. Yeah. My reaction is no, because everything gets taken advantage of. Everything that happens, everything we have in our society that started with good intentions always gets taken advantage of.
Now,
and
if we had
mentioned this won't either.
if we had government funded Medicare, I mean, like for all type of thing, I'd be like, definitely not.
And if this guy in this article or in this clip, you think he's on Medicare or Medicaid?
I don't know. I don't know.
Good chance he is, or he's up there in
Could
age.
be.
So
yeah, he could have his own insurance plus Medicaid.
Yeah, usually you do. My dad does. And
as long as it's not like somebody's sitting here going, I'm depressed, I want to die. Then if that's you, then take some pills and leave the government out of it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You technically can't do this now. It's just there might be some repercussions afterwards, and you may not have the proper guidance from a medical physician to do it correctly. I guess I don't know. Yeah, man, that's a really hard one for me. Again, shoot us an email. What do you think? Let us know. This is a tough one. I manually, if I'm at this torn on it, I usually just side on no. It's probably not good. Moving along on something a little lighter than medically assisted suicide is another Supreme Court ruling that started in Ohio. This case started in Ohio. And the Supreme Court could hear challenge to home distilling ban involving Licking County residents. So bottom line is Supreme Court they haven't accepted it yet, they could take the next step in a case that challenging the 158-year-old federal ban on home distilling involving a Licking County resident, John Ream. So the Buckeye Institute is representing the plaintiff and said it will ask the Supreme Court to hear Ream versus Department of Treasury after a federal appeals court upheld the ban and contradicted a previous ruling. So apparently you're not allowed to distill at home. I didn't even know. I figured you can do beer, you can brew beer, but you can't distill wine or distill liquor.
You can make wine, you can make beer. You can't do the liquor.
I thought they had said the ban on distilling was originally passed in 1868 as a part of legislation that was intended to prevent home distillers from evading federal excise tax, according to the Sixth Circuit Court. Okay. Ream is the owner of Trek Brewing Company in Newark, Ohio, and has practiced home brewing as a hobby for years. Could face a felony conviction, $10,000 in fines, and 5 years in prison if he took up whiskey making as a hobby. All right. I'd ask what your take on this, Tom, but I'm pretty sure I'm on it.
To hell with the government.
Yeah. Distill all you want.
It's an outdated law, I think, right?
Yeah, it's very much outdated. I guess they put it in to try to keep people from evading a tax. I think we could probably handle that now. You could do beer. Do you evade tax on beers? There are a lot of people, all these people making beers and evade tax. I doubt it.
No, you're doing it because you're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
I've made wine a couple of times and it's cool.
Yeah, I think Stone Cold will give us
give me a hell yeah.
Yep, he approves. So
I have a feeling if this goes to the Supreme Court, it'll be that they'll overturn it or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, overturn it. I think so too. It might. I mean, will they take it? Maybe.
How many courts has this gone through? I mean, they might have to take it. Two.
So it looks like
he's won one and he's lost one, right?
Yeah, and that's why they're saying we'll go to the Supreme because because the original court, Sixth Circuit Court, it says, appeals court ruled for the Sixth Circuit Court that the ban could continue to be enforced on April 21st. After the U.S. Court of Appeals, Fifth Circuit ruled that the ban was unconstitutional. So the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals says unconstitutional, and the Sixth Circuit of Appeals says they're going to hold the ban. They're going to continue the ban.
To hell with the Sixth Circuit.
Yeah. I say, distill all you want. I want more bourbon choices. Because,
the whole point is that I think they didn't want people selling it on the black market, right?
And not taking tax and not paying the excise tax.
Yeah, I don't think you can make enough in your home nowadays to be selling it anywhere.
Yeah, and
to a couple of buddies, maybe,
it's a little easier to find these people out. Just like beer. If someone starts selling massive amounts of beer out of their house and not paying tax, eventually somebody's going to find out. The government's going to find out.
Everyone on your street is drunk.
Yeah, everybody's drunk and nobody not showing up for work is the first.
Now, this if it does, it'll be overturned, and I'll be distilling some whiskey. So.
Yeah, I'm sure I won't. Seems like a whole lot of work.
I never looked into distilling. I would give it a try. I enjoy the winemaking part.
Yeah, I want to do the beer. I want to do the beer one these days.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad either.
Yeah, I had some family members done it. Said it was really fun. I actually tasted some of it. It was pretty good, surprisingly, but it was pretty good.
I think we can go here locally to in Strongsville. I think they do it there.
There's places all down West 25th that'll do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What was the one that? There was a couple of them. I know a family. What's that one? Market Garden, maybe. Might be one of them. Something like that.
I didn't know they did it.
They may not. I'm just saying it was one of those in that area that I know had a brewing section or a little section that you saw they had set outside in the restaurant for brewing.
Mm-hmm.
That when I was going down there years ago. But let us know what you think. Do you think we should be able to, distill? I don't. We know the answer.
So, like the brew kettle I was talking about here in Strongsville.
Oh, right. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
They have a whole brewing section, and they also have a distilling section too, where you can distill some whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Contraband. That's probably the one I'm thinking of.
Probably.
That's probably the place I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Check out the website every Monday when the show drops, the blog drops. Yes, the blog drops. CrookedRivercast.com. Check it out. Follow along. Read into the stories. Try to find out where we're wrong or where we're right, and let us know. Then you can leave us a comment and shoot us an email at crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Rate the show on your favorite podcast app. Really helps the show get noticed in the algorithm. And then, of course, you can share it with your friends and family. Let them know if you're interested in news about Ohio. This is one of the places you can go. Listen to these two buffoons talk about all this stuff. I mean, one. I don't want to speak for Tom, but at least one. Check us out, crookedrivercast.com, where we love self-deprecating humor.
Let's get a move on here, Rob.
Move on. I know. I got shit to do. Elderly being dumped at shelters. Yeah, elderly being dumped at shelters. Is this an actual thing, Tom? Like, I opened this up and I was like, get the heck out of here. There's no way.
I guess it's rare. It happens, but it's rare.
It happens. So they're saying this is a Signal report from signalohio.org is the website. The scene was concerning enough to prompt the homeless shelter staff to call the fire department. What happened? Well, a woman using a walker showed up, incontinent. We know what incontinent means, right?
She shit herself.
Yeah, she couldn't control her bowels. And carrying a large bag of medication. She was a diabetic, managing a tibia fracture, and a walker. She was on a walker.
Yeah, get out of here.
And alcohol-related dementia. And she was dumped, quote unquote, at the shelter, according to federal inspectors.
What's alcohol-related dementia? Is that like you're drunk all the time, or she drank so much that she's got dementia? It's weird.
I think you're correct in the latter. That you drink so much you actually get dementia because you may already have dementia and it triggers it. I originally thought it was because of lack of alcohol, but I don't think that's. I think you're right. Alcohol-related dementia. I think you're probably right on that. Yeah. Staff members said resident 83 was unclear of what was going on, scared, and not sure who dropped her off there. Inspectors of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which funds most nursing homes in the United States, wrote after an August 3rd, 2023 inspection. Wait, what? Okay, this is a 2026 article. Okay. It describes as rare but increasingly common instance of nursing homes in Ohio transferring its patients who are often older, poorer, and medically fragile to a homeless shelter. So apparently this woman has an alcohol problem. She refuses to go to rehab. So they kicked her out of their nursing home. The woman was caught drinking beer at her residence in Eastland in Columbus, prompting an involuntary discharge. Staff tried to get her into a rehab for substance use, but no beds were immediately available. Well, there's a key. There's one of these. I mean, if there's no beds, I guess you can't transfer her, can you? I guess you're going to have to deal with her for a minute until there's a bed available. What the hell?
Seems kind of cruel, right?
Yeah. I guess
that nursing home should be looked into, right?
Yeah, and I bet they are.
Yeah.
Eastland staff never called the county's psychiatric bed board to find a spot. Oh, so they're saying that Eastland staff never called the county's psychiatric bed board to find a spot for the woman, according to the inspectors. Instead, they took her to the shelter. There are about 100 people sat ahead of her on a waiting list. So, shelter declined to admit the woman, leaving her outside in the late summer heat. So this was last year. Maybe it had to be late summer heat. So increasingly common occurrence going on. Wow. I didn't even know that was an option. Like, how are they allowed to just dump somebody at a homeless shelter?
I don't know, man. This is wild.
Just scrubbing through it, making sure there's nothing else. Most of the patients in the situation are older, homeless, unemployed, and lack support networks of family or friends that might be checking in on them. So that's another question. Where's family?
Well, some people just don't have family.
Some people don't have family. Some families move away and
they're
out of state, so they don't see them very often. And it's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrific, man.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
We are starting to deal with it more and more. The facilities are so closely monitored on discharges, but yet they still try to send them to hospitals and not take them back.
Probably why we need mental facilities.
Yeah, more substance abuse beds. As cruel as it sounds, it is as cruel as it sounds. So check this article out. It's pretty lengthy. There's a lot of details in it. We're not going to go through all of it, but it's as horrifying as it sounds, and it's pretty bad. What sanctions will be put on this nursing home? Like, I think they should be looking at Medicaid funding being cut. It might shut the whole place down, though. Then what do you do with everybody?
She was caught drinking beer at her residence.
She's an alcoholic, I think.
Well, of course, but that's what prompted this, and it just seems wrong.
It does. So she gets caught. She's an alcoholic. She gets caught drinking. So their initial thought, which is correct, let's get her in a rehab facility.
Maybe you should look into how that got in. How did she get beer?
Good point.
Maybe it's the resident, the homeless, or not the homeless place. This nursing home's fault. How did she get that in?
A good point. Very good point. Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder. Do they sell beer at nursing homes, at assisted living facilities? I wonder.
They got vending machines.
Oh, they have beer and vending machines? That'd be dangerous.
No, I'm serious about that.
Yeah, no,
how did she get that in?
Yeah, how did she get that? How did it get in? That's my question. Are there some of these facilities that actually have a bar in them? Because they have a lot of facilities that have different levels. You go.
I would think this is not the kind of place.
Probably not.
This is where the Richies spend their time.
I need a Dortmunder stat. Yeah, that's what she said. No, she's probably drinking Bud Light, not Labatt. That'd be too good for her.
Pabst.
Ooh, Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's got America on it.
Yeah, Pabst used to be cool.
Yeah. Still probably. I bet Pabst tastes better than Bud Light.
Old style. It's like the coming out of the urinals of Wrigley Park, Wrigley Field.
Man, crack me a beer. All right, moving along. Take care. Go visit your parents. Go give your mom and dad a call if they're still around. That's what this makes me want to do. Next on the horrific train of stories that we just had. So elderly that was horrific. Now this semi-driver that I've pushed off a couple of weeks, I wasn't sure how much I was going to cover it, but there is a line, there is a story inside this story here. So here's what happened. I don't know if anyone's heard of this, but recently, in the last couple of months, there's been a story popping around about a semi-driver in Columbus area accused of fraudulent ID. Well, he's accused of, killing a family of 3. Let's listen to the report.
Modu Ingam.
Yes, let's listen to the report from Channel 10 TV News out of Columbus here.
This morning, we're learning more about the driver charged in a crash that killed a family of 3 earlier this month. Linnea Saposky, her husband Luke, and their 1-year-old son all died. Troopers with the Ohio State Highway Patrol say the driver accused in that crash fraudulently obtained licenses under multiple identities.
10 TV News reporter Amy Steigerwald joins us live this morning with the latest details on this case. Amy, what are we learning about those licenses and his history?
Well, we know that driver initially entered the United States back in the 90s and over the years had a number of different IDs. And now lawmakers are really calling for a deeper investigation given the circumstances of this crash and changes moving forward. Investigators with Ohio State Highway Patrol releasing a detailed timeline surrounding 50-year-old Modu Ngum's history. According to State Patrol, Ngum may have entered the United States in the 1990s, using different names and birth dates to obtain identification.
Why don't we
They
know?
say he fraudulently secured an Ohio driver's license around 2003 and a commercial license in 2007 under an alternate identity. He then changed his name back in 2015. The deadly crash earlier this month shut down I-71 in Delaware County for hours. We spoke with witnesses who saw the tragedy unfold.
We saw no indication of him trying to stop or slowing down. A couple extra minutes out of your day is not going to ruin your day.
Federal authorities are now leading the investigation, and lawmakers are responding, including Senators John Husted and Bernie Moreno. Husted tells 10 TV he supports requiring driver exams to be conducted in English only, a bill introduced in the Ohio House last month. Nationally, Husted also joined onto a bill in March requiring drivers to hold a standard license for at least 1 year before applying for a CDL. And at this point, all findings in this investigation have been turned over to federal authorities. That includes Homeland Security, and it includes the U.S. Attorney's Office as well. We'll be following this as it unfolds. For now, live in Columbus, Amy Steigerwald for 10 TV News.
Now, if you read the article, there's a very interesting detail that Amy left out, even though how excited she was to talk about this story. She was almost hyperventilating at one point. What they leave out, first of all, they think he came here around 1990 something, I think they said, in the 90s.
Yeah.
Why don't they know?
Hasn't he changed his name like 3 times, 4 times?
Because he came here legally. That's why they don't know. That's why they don't know. But the what other key part they left out? So authorities uncovered conflicting information related to Ngum's identity in state and federal records, the state says. According to the investigation, Ngum appeared to have entered the United States in the 90s and then used multiple names and dates of birth to obtain state and federal identification. DPS says evidence indicates Ngum fraudulently obtained a new Ohio's driver's license around 2003, and later a commercial driver's license around 2007. So whatever legislation they want you to do to, that you have to hold a regular driver's license a year, that wouldn't have helped here. Under an alternative identity. So he got these two, a regular license and a CDL under a false alternate identity. He was later naturalized as a U.S. citizen in the mid-2010s under the same alternative name.
Right.
Then he changed his name back in 2015. How the hell did a guy with a fake name and a fake social security number get through naturalization? Seems like there's a hole here somewhere. I think you guys have some experience in that, right? Or know people? You know people who've gotten naturalized? They've gone through the process to become a citizen, right?
To become a citizen, yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yes. I don't know. Is that the same thing as being naturalized?
Naturalized as a U.S. citizen. I thought that was the same.
I don't know.
It is.
But yeah, my wife became a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Kind of. I think that's. I mean, I think it's crazy that he got all the way through that process on a fake Social Security number.
Is it really that crazy?
I mean, if I forget how far could I get with the IRS with a fake Social Security number? Not far, I would think. So
well, that's the IRS. They're looking for money.
I'm thinking that it's so lax that they don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
The policies at this level, especially 15, 20 years ago, were whatever. It's okay. Just let it go. I don't know. That's the story for me. Is this guy? None of the bills that they're representing or presenting here would have stopped this from happening. He didn't ram into the back of him because he was in a hurry or because he couldn't read the road signs. He was either sleeping or on his phone.
Yeah, he was probably on his phone.
If you watch the video of the accident, because they have it on camera from the traffic cameras, he never slowed down. And the car with the family in it, I don't think there was anything left of it when they were done. It was literally in pieces. It swallowed the car up. It was horrific.
What was he driving? A full-size semi?
Semi-truck. Yeah. Fully loaded or whatever semi-truck. Yeah, he never even slowed down. And just basically rolled over the car with the family in it. Yeah, I think you're not looking you're not looking deep enough into this problem, guys. As far as was it Houston or Yost or whoever it was, I think we need to dig a little deeper in how he got these IDs and how he got naturalized. That's what would have stopped this from happening.
Yeah, naturalized is saying. I thought it meant something else, but naturalized means you were born in another country and got your citizenship here.
A different one step over a green card, right? Green card is you're just legally here as a
resident.
Foreign resident, yeah.
Lawful permanent resident. Yep.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I thought it would be. I thought there'd be something pretty hard to get to fake, but I guess not. Check out the story. It's pretty. So they're suing him now. He's in jail. He's going to be deported. I mean, they're going to throw him out of here. I mean, after he does time, he's probably going to be gone. Although who knows in 10 years when
send him back to West Africa, he'll be back here in a few months.
I'm thinking
actually not now.
Yeah, not now. But but if he does time, and who knows what the policy is going to be in 10 years from now?
Yeah.
I'm thinking we send him to Haiti, where everybody says you can't send anybody because it's so bad. I think we send him, or maybe, I don't know. What other country could we send him to that would be better? Syria? Let's go to Syria. How's Syria sound?
No, he's from West Africa.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying, I say we don't send him back. We send him back someplace worse than West Africa.
Oh, let's
as
send
part
him
of his punishment.
Yeah. Let's send him to Haiti.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because nobody can go back to Haiti, apparently.
Yeah.
Bad. We'll get to that. Maybe that's the next one to come out down the Supreme Court. They're going to be looking at this temporary status thing. I think there's some news coming out of that next week or two. And then there's a story I want to talk about next week, maybe on gun rights too. Same came across. Almost like they're laying a trail for the midterms.
There's a pretty good thing that just happened for the 2A.
Yeah. That's what
that
I'm
was
saying.
Through ATF. Just dropped a bunch of 34 rolls or something. It was pretty darn good.
It's in my saved for next week. So.
Yeah, cool.
I just want to read through it because there's a bunch of stuff. Moving along, because someone said we got to move along, so I'm moving along. Next on the story is Cirino. Oh, yes. Good old Senator Cirino. He's pleased with Senate Bill 1 so far. Senate Bill 1, if you don't remember, was brought into the budget, which is House Bill 96, I think it was, and it ended up being. Architecture of Senate Bill 1 said he's pleased with compliance with the measures mandated so far, or the measure that it measures that mandates so far, but said there is more work to do on the diversity, equity, and inclusion front, which the bill prohibits. And this is Ohio.news story, and they have in it a video of kind of what they're talking about because so Ohio.news has highlighted several undercover videos released by Accuracy and Media showing higher education officials, including those at the University of Toledo, Kent State University, and the University of Cincinnati, flaunting the anti-DEI provisions in SB 1, also known as the Advanced Ohio Education Act. And let's hear a little bit from that undercover guy. I think we played this on this show a while back. It's the same guy going in. Now he's going into Bowling Green. And you would think eventually these people would understand the terminology and the questions that would trigger them. But no, they're so excited to have somebody of a different race in front of them. Oh my gosh, I got to be virtuous. There you go.
Just want to make sure his education would not be hindered by political interests, right-wing political interests. Yeah. It'll sort of quell something very important issues related to diversity, equity, inclusion, intersectionality, the things that he'll need in the field. You know what I mean? So I just want to what does that look like? Should he stay in New York with his mother and just go to NYU or join me?
That's a great question. Yeah. Yeah, as you're probably aware, there have been some things that have occurred at the state level that, to be frank, have impacted us in the social work program to a degree. Yeah. I don't think it has compromised the academic integrity or the substance of the social work program. They have had to rename a few courses to align with certain expectations set by the state. However, the social work program does have an accrediting body specific to their discipline that requires, in order for them to maintain accreditation, that they still include components in the curriculum that align with some of the things that you just mentioned. Yeah. While we have been impacted to an extent by some of the political dynamics at the state level, I think the impact has been relatively minimal. Okay. I'm hopeful that moving forward, that some of the, I want to believe that some of the political interest in regulating higher ed has waned some. That whatever political points have been won through that process are just not as strong as that they're moving on to something else. And in some ways, say relative to a place like NYU, I think just because of our geographical location and our more homogenous student group, that maybe in some ways we place more emphasis on it because we feel more compelled to try to prepare our students for environments that
more emphasis on
inclusivity and those elements, because our students through the lived experience have not been exposed. Yes.
But we're so racist in Ohio. You'd probably be even better here than NYU is how he's selling it. But he just basically came out and said, well, we're just hoping everybody forgets about this. The bill was passed, everybody made their speeches, and now everything settles, you can go back to how it was. Change a few names. So Mr. Senate Bill 1, Cirino, don't be too pleased. I think you got some more work to do because you passed a bill with no teeth. It sounds like to me. Oh, actually, did put teeth in it. They threatened to pull funding from these schools if they continue to do it. Have they pulled any funding?
Hell no.
No. And the article says in recent weeks, headlines about the bill have focused on colleges and universities eliminating degrees with insufficient enrollment. Under the measures, schools must nix undergraduate degree programs that bestow fewer than 5 degrees annually over 3 years. And schools across the Buckeye State have eliminated 90 undergraduate degrees to comply with this mandate. What about the rest of it? Don't be too, he's very, very, very pleased with himself, but I don't think he did a whole lot of anything because they're still doing it and just changing the name and just doing it under the radar and hoping everybody forgets about it. Don't let them forget about it, people. Anything on that, Tom? That's all you got.
No, I think we predicted this, right?
Yeah, we predicted they were just going to change the name, and then and once the bill is passed, everybody was going to have their virtue signaling moment, and then move on. We'll see if we can hold them to it. More of these stories would help, and more of these accuracy in media people. Sounds kind of like they're taking a feather out of the cap of what's his name? Oh, geez, just flew out of my head. Veritas, Project Veritas.
Yeah.
James O'Keefe.
The most
O'Keefe
important
Media.
thing is parents need to be paying attention to where their kids are going to college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta give them good roots, otherwise these colleges will pull them right out and replant them in their own ideology. Well, look at that. That was
Pretty
awesome.
good. It's all right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, for me, it was fabulous, but for most people, it's just average. Moving on, we're just going to touch on this story real quick because I pulled it. When you hear Lorain County Sheriff raids the 911 call center, I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be a story here. They also raided the administrative building for Lorain County on corruption. But in the last 3 days, they've really released nothing at all. They're still in the evidence gathering stage. So we're just going to keep an eye on this. But they do have a little tidbit in here, which, yes. The one, this one will, see. They have I think that started related to I thought I pulled the right quote and I didn't, so apologize. This is there was an investigation out of a 911 or somebody in the administration using court police records to look up, to do like a background check. And this person was caught and got fired. And they're saying this has something to do with that. Some would fraud with contracts. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just an odd article. They don't really tell you what's going on.
Yeah, it's like they had to come out and have a press conference because of all this. 911 call center gets raided, plus the administrative building gets raided.
A press conference that said nothing.
Yeah. Hall stated the search warrant are in part related to a previous case involving former Lorain County 911 dispatch Gregory D. Bird, who was charged with unauthorized use of the Ohio Law Enforcement Automated Database System. Database. He did something, it's like one of those, hey, can you look up my boyfriend of my daughter's boyfriend to see if he got any priors? Maybe that's what he did. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it.
Couldn't you call a cop to do that too? Like if you had a buddy?
Yeah. The 911 guy is probably not the guy to do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Next, moving along, they are moving forward with the jail. We talked a few times about this. One of our first shows, we talked about this jail going up and the shenanigans involved in it. The county prosecutor, that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I put a halt on the construction because he wanted to know more about the almost $900 million project. And he put a stop to it. He said, no, we need to have a hearing. So they had this hearing, and let's go over it real quick. Last clip of the day, I guess. County Jail, News Channel 5.
This may be the first time this particular committee, with representatives of the Cuyahoga County court system, along with the Sheriff's Department, has met, but this special meeting to sign off on the county's new nearly $900 million jail was needed in order to proceed with the work on the project. That's according to the county prosecutor, who recently called on work there to stop until they did.
Certainly this project is the largest construction project cost-wise in the history of Cuyahoga County. And I think it's critical that due diligence is given to every aspect of this project.
While the Ronan administration disagreed with that assessment, they did put together the meeting, allowing members to hear the details of the project on this 72-acre site just off of Interstate 480 in Garfield Heights. They heard about the timeline and the cost that is now listed today at no more than $894 million. But that's a figure, they argue, that literally comes with an expiration date.
This goes away. If we can't get this started now, we don't have this guarantee anymore. That's why this is so time sensitive.
The committee had a few questions related to the site, as well as the concerns raised by the state auditor last week that officials could be held personally liable if the state found money was being spent in violation of the law. A concern that caused the sheriff to abstain. County attorneys assured the members that dealt with expenses in the past, not the ones going forward. In the end, by a 3-0 vote.
So the motion carries and the motion passes.
Prosecutor O'Malley labeled the meeting and vote a victory for transparency.
This is what the law requires. It's what we saw in action today. And so I'm very happy that they got an opportunity to review the plans. The public got a good opportunity today to see what's going on. And I think that's a good step forward.
It also allows the county to sign a deal that sets a guaranteed maximum price of $894 million on the project before it goes up. How much money do you think was saved by today's vote?
It depended on the outcome, but this could have been catastrophic.
Now, Lorain says the path is clear for County Council Tuesday to begin the process of issuing close to $1 billion in bonds for the overall project and for the first pilings at the site to go in.
The 72-acre site in the city of Garfield Heights is ready now to receive this work and to move forward on something that has been a 7-year process.
In Cleveland, John Kosick, News 5.
Yeah, you got to move. Move fast. Prices are going up. They wait too much longer, the price is going to go up. And let's remember that it was guaranteed not to go over $894 million because in a year, we're talking about Cuyahoga County approving budget overruns for the new jail. Well, remember this. They rushed this through so they can get a contract signed, and they're still going to go over it. Guarantee it.
Oh, $1.2 billion.
Yeah, probably. It's not a bad. And I thought I saw that. Well, this is the largest construction, or most expensive construction project in Cuyahoga County, and I was like, the Brown Stadium, the original, the Huntington Bank Field that's up there now, it's about to tear down. I was like, oh, well, that's got to be close to that, right? Mm-mm. That's 25 years ago.
That was like 300, right?
Yeah, $286 million.
Yeah.
For a huge stadium, and 25 years later, we're building a jail for 3 times that. Wow. But yeah, construction materials are, increasing, so they were trying to jump on it. I think they're just trying to run it through so that people don't look too much into it.
Does that include all the security stuff, like as part of the price?
Apparently, total project, I would assume yes.
Okay. I mean, I would assume some of that stuff gets pretty crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Remember, they started this by spending $42 million of COVID money to buy the land. Keep that in mind. Nothing to see here, people. Next is, just a quick one because the Browns are, I guess they consider it, they broke ground on a new stadium. And the story here is the question was asked to the NFL commissioner. Will Cleveland have a Super Bowl? Well, first of all, Cleveland won't have a Super Bowl because it's in Brook Park. But the Cleveland area have a Super Bowl? And he thankfully didn't laugh too hard at them. And he said basically no, because they require about 60 to 75,000 hotel rooms in the area for the Super Bowl.
Probably, yeah.
And apparently Cleveland area has 22,000, so we're not even close. But DeWine's plan B is he's pretty sure we're going to get a NFL draft here in Cleveland, which I think we've had one before. And that's basically at their breaking ground. They're still there's still a lawsuit about the $600 million coming out, being borrowed out of the unclaimed fund, but they're going to go ahead with it. I'm seeing articles all over the place. They got $35 million in state money going to redo the interchange over there in 71. A lot of work that has to be done over there. And, I imagine property values in that area have gone up considerably. So good for those people. Keep an eye on it. New stadium is going up. And on to the final segment of the day, which, of course has to be.
We bring good things to life.
Things segment. First, we're going to start with a good little tweet, a little X post from Fox 8, which gives you a little graph here, a little picture. We will gain 57 minutes of daylight in May. That's a good story to start out with. Yay. And if you live in Florida, it's only 30 minutes. Isn't that crazy?
Well, they're closer to the coast, so I think,
Closer to the equator, yeah. I know one time we went to Florida, and it was a half-hour difference between sunset in Cleveland. It was half hour less in Florida, something like that, or longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like it's longer because you got less when you're on the ocean, it feels like the sunset lasts longer.
Yeah, less, true. Less stuff to get.
But my favorite was when we went to Hawaii was just that waking up as the sunlight comes up at 6 o'clock, it sets at 7 o'clock, and to me that's perfect.
Yeah, that was quite the adjustment. 6 or 7
hours. All year long. That's how it is. It's just I don't like the days going to like 9 o'clock, 9:30.
Too long.
Yeah.
I
like standard time.
Yeah.
I get up early, so I want to get to bed early. I don't like going to bed when it's still daylight.
Yeah, it feels weird. So check it out. We're going to get more daylight as we go through the month of May.
Yeah.
So the first day of summer, which usually is the June 20th area? And that'll be the longest. What's the first day of summer?
Yeah, June 20th, I think.
June 20th area. So that'll be the longest day of the year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And fall is the shortest day of the year. Okay. Just trying to keep track of it all.
Winter solstice.
Yep. Summer solstice. That's apparently when you can stand an egg on an end on those 2 days.
Okay.
That's what they say. Never tried it though. You just cook them. All right. Moving on to our next quick good thing story. Check these next two out. If you're looking for things to do, speaking of summertime, we've got a couple of stories here. One is not a story, it's just a website. Ohio Festival website is ohiofestival.org.
Schedule.
OFEA.org. Yeah, it's kind of an organization that helps get all the festivals together. I've never heard of this before. But you can go there, become a member, you can donate, and they have a calendar of dates of all the different festivals that they take care of. And there is a ton of them all the way throughout the summer, all the way going through December.
Cool.
And there's a lot of different stuff all over the state of Ohio. Check it out. It's very cool. I'm definitely going to use it.
When your wife's crabbing about doing something, This is a perfect website to get to and say, surprise your wife and tell her, hey, we're going to go to Art on the Hill in Manaway.
Yeah. Going to London Strawberry Festival. We're going to go there. Ashtabula Pride Festival. Oh, wait, no. I'm not sure.
Cy Young Days Festival.
I'm not sure about the Ashtabula Pride Festival. You may want to check that one out before you go. But,
Yeah, what kind of flag?
It is June. It's in June, so that would tell me probably not a family-friendly event, but who knows?
I don't know about that. I think it's
could be about Pride of Ashtabula, but
yes, that's what I think it is.
Pride of something else.
I'm going to look that up right now because that's going to drive me crazy.
It would be weird Ashtabula is doing it because it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But
I don't know. You got all those winos out there.
That's true. That is very true. Those winos. Look that up. Next on the list.
I am looking that up.
Is quick one again. Another website to check out a bunch of events. This is America250-ohio.org. This is a website strictly for the 250th anniversary of the country, signing of Declaration of Independence. This year is 250, and they've got a whole bunch of a list of all kinds of celebrations, specifically about 250th anniversary of our country. Ohio Civil War Show, Walk in Our Boots, the 5K run, Cincinnati Flying Pig Marathon. Not sure how that's 250th anniversary. Okay.
By the way, Ashtabula Pride was a gay freaking LGBTQ thing.
See?
It's been canceled though.
Oh, they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Probably not.
Those bills and stuff that we were talking about.
Maybe, yeah.
So check these out before you go, because
you
never know what they may be or if they're still going on. But yeah, this America250-ohio.org. If you're looking for patriotic stuff to do this summer, there's going to be plenty of it. And the fireworks this year, they're going to be outstanding. I'm upgrading them this year, Tom. I think I'm going to upgrade them this year.
Cool.
At least for this year. And that is really, I think that wraps up our show. I think that's all we got for you. We appreciate you listening. Check out the website, Crookedrivercast gmail.com. If you like something, don't like something, send us some feedback. CrookedRivercast@gmail.com. Please share it with your friends. We really appreciate listening. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. It really helps get the show noticed in the algorithms. On that note, we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.